Just imagine like blocks of aluminum going back there, and then it gets formed into parts. Parts get formed into joints. Joints get formed into limbs, and limbs get put up as a Neo.
I walked into this factory expecting to be impressed by the humanoids. But what I was not expecting to find was one quietly sorting parts in the corner of the same building where it was made. Okay, so that's Neo, and it's working in its own factory. And that kind of detail broke my brain for the rest of the day. You produce almost everything in-house. So why was that so important to you? And what are some of the benefits?
For humanoid robotics, there exists no supply chain or systems that actually solves the problem. So either you can take existing industrial robot systems and just put that together in humanoid form, and that might work reasonably well in a factory, but it's not going to get you to actually true general labor. There needs to be real innovation all the way down to the fundamental principles of how the machine works and how it's built. If you want iteration speed, you have to do everything yourself. Pretty proud that we're now going essentially raw materials to finished humanoid with our own foundation models within one company, right? If you go back to Ford, right, in the River Run factory, they mined the ore, but they didn't just mine the ore, they grew the cotton. They had the cows. The entire ecosystem of that area could be turned into a car. If you want to reindustrialize America, this is where we need to go.
Now, I really want to emphasize this. Every single thing built in this building, from the motors, the battery packs, the metal parts, 1X made it. And I kept on asking Bernt, why? Why not just buy the components like everyone else does? And he kept coming back to the same word, iteration. How fast can you find the problem, fix it, and try again? If the part comes from a supplier, I mean, the answer is weeks. But if you just made it yourself, the answer is tomorrow. That is the whole bet. Then I met Vikram, and he runs robotics at 1X. He wanted to show me something about the arm, which I found really fascinating. Check this out.
Because we build and test everything here, it's just, and the engineers are on the floor here.
Yes.
So if there's any issue, it gets fixed in like a day.
It's wild. Yeah.
So
the communication is...
The communication, the feedback loop is so short. So that's why we can keep on improving. Yeah, so this is the tendon.
Tendon,
We
yes.
call it the tendon. The entire architecture, as you can see, we have our own hand-built custom motors over here.
Wow.
So this is all built internally. This motor holds the world record in torque to strength, torque to weight. It's 5x more powerful than any motor in the world.
5x.
For its weight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, the reason that matters, and Vikram showed me this in person, is what happens when something hits the robot.
When the hand hits something, this motor is still spinning.
Yeah.
If the motor is still spinning, the hand is going to keep going, so it's going to hurt you.
I see, yes.
Whereas in the tendon drive system, as you can see, there are no gears.
Yeah.
It's basically just these ropes.
It's incredible.
And then if you see, it's all back drivable. So if there was a hand over here, for example, I can do this, and this moves. You will not be able to do this in any geared drive, so you can try it yourself.
So not only is it, safer, but two, the movements of Neo are so natural. So
human-like.
Yeah, human-like, exactly.
Yep.
They're not stiff, they're just organic. When he goes to when Neo shakes your hand or anything like that.
Exactly. Neo is 30 kilograms. Mass reduction is one of the key tenets of safety. We kind of draw upon all the sports research that goes on in the NFL or wrestling, and we take all that information and we develop our soft goods so that we can prevent concussion. And so I would just look out for the pinch point. So I would just hold it from down here.
Okay.
This structure over here, and just lift it like this. It's a little heavy. So
Let's see. Like here, right?
yes, perfect.
It's not as heavy as I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not bad. I mean, I can do some curls. It's amazing.
If your robot is safe, your robot can learn faster because it can go into any environment.
Now, I want to stay on that for a second. If you cage the robot, keep it in a controlled environment to avoid accidents, you cap how much it can learn. Safety and intelligence are not intention here. Safety is what lets Neo be in the real world. And the real world is where it gets smart.
We can go from raw materials to finished product in less than a month.
Wow. Aluminum block, machined part, joint, limb, head. The whole thing in under a month. And they're already trying to get it down to just weeks. The head is where it gets interesting. That is essentially where the robot's, the humanoid's brain lives.
But when the head gets put on, that's when the brain actually connects to the nervous system.
Yeah.
and we light it up with the robot operating system. It calibrates itself.
Yeah.
And then it does a little bit of a robot, we call it the robot gym, where it does some squats, it does some, curls, and it does, walking and running and jumping. And then we do a final check. And,
it really is a work of art, isn't it? Like when you look closely at all the covers, how that's done, it's really incredible. And then I went to the machine shop. Julian's team makes every metal part in the building.
Yeah. You wanna talk about it?
I can talk
Yeah,
a little bit
please.
about it. So this is basically one of these tools.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Taking away a little bit.
Automatic changes the tool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this the hardest or the most complex or one of them?
This is a really complex part.
Yeah.
I would say this is a 10 out of 10, honestly.
Yeah.
Because you have to machine it from every direction. Second time when you clamp it, you lose tolerance.
Yeah.
It's not as precise anymore.
You can hold this and see how complicated this
It's
is.
so intricate.
That's
It's like a watch.
Incredible. Wow. Julian's team programs the tool path for every single part Neo is made of. That handpiece takes an hour and a half to machine. The complexity is front-loaded into the part, so that assembly downstream is cleaner. The hardest thing to build is the thing that makes everything else easier.
You run this, and this runs all night until it breaks. So
Really?
we find the failure point.
Yes.
We see what caused the failure, and we go and fix it. And then we come
Wow.
and run the test again.
Yeah.
And then we see whether it fixed it.
Yeah.
And then we will run it to failure again.
Yeah.
And then we'll find something else that needs to be fixed. And we keep doing this until we have been satisfied that this is a very reliable joint. And then we do this for every single joint, as you can see. We're getting upwards to hundreds of thousands of cycles, approaching 1 million in some cases. So, yeah.
That room runs all night. Joints are literally cycling until they break. Then they figure out why, fix it, and run them again. I mean, hundreds of thousands of cycles, some approaching 1 million. Now, I know it kind of sounds obsessive. They're going to be in your house, around your family. That room is why you can trust that. It's kind of wild that what is sitting in front of us becomes Neo.
Exactly.
Like, it's hard to wrap your head around that.
It is, yeah. It's fascinating.
It really is. Now, I seen Neo a few months back before coming into this factory, but standing on the factory floor, having a conversation with it, that felt different. And Bernt has one word for what makes every Neo different from every other humanoid.
What truly makes every Neo unique is the memory.
Yeah.
The only parallel I have is kind of like it's my Hobbes in Calvin and Hobbes. So that means it's not like getting a dog. It's not going to replace my kids. It's not going to replace my wife. It's something new.
Now, I've covered a lot of different hardware on this channel, a lot of different futuristic tech, but I don't think I've ever heard a founder describe their product as a Calvin and Hobbes companion. And I found it really interesting because he wasn't trying to be poetic, he was being precise.
Pretty confident, like a lot of people now will agree that in 10 years, we will actually have true abundance across society. We will have what I would say is a hard takeoff, meaning robots building robots. We're already working on that. But it's not just about the robots building the robots. You actually need the robots building the data centers, the energy infrastructure, the chip fabs. We're going to run out chips. Building out, servicing and running the mining and refining to ensure you have the raw materials. You can actually get this fully self-sufficient kind of von Neumann machine.
Yeah.
Where it's producing itself.
Yes.
From like atoms to sand to intelligence, the entire loop automated. Who knows, maybe like 200 years from now, my grandkids, our Neo will tell them about me.
Whether the 10-year timeline is right, and Bernt will tell you 10 is more honest than, say, 5, I don't think the direction is really any question anymore. I mean, the factory is running, the humanoids are shipping. I have a 10-month-old, almost 11-month-old son, and I genuinely have no idea what the world looks like when he's old enough to understand any of this. And to me, that used to feel, if I'm being honest, a bit of a scary thought, intimidating, if you will. But walking out of this factory, out of this building, it felt more like a wide open one, like there was so much more possibility for the world that he will be living in. You know, I feel like I need to talk about Neo sitting behind us here and the case Neo is in. It's so interesting to me. So is this the case that Neo will be shipped in, or tell me about this case in particular?
So this is currently the case Neo is shipped in.
Okay, currently
And
you
we will
say.
see, we will see. We're having a big discussion about this internally. My personal opinion is that Neo just knocks on your door.
Ooh, but how do you do that? How do you do that from the shipping standpoint?
Should we partner with Waymo? I think that would be pretty cool.
That actually would
Like
be really
your
incredible.
robot comes delivered with an autonomous car.
I would like to just Neo to just call a Waymo and just get to someone's home.
Okay, so you and Bernt are on the same
Yes.
wavelength
So,
with that
we
one.
don't need cases. Like,
No.
You know, just go to your home.
It's amazing. I know. Go home,
Ring
Neo.
the bell and introduce yourself.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so 1X starts shipping Neo this year, and I still haven't decided which delivery I would want. I mean, the case, the Waymo, or having Neo show up at my door with his charger already in hand, ready to work. I think a combination is what's going to happen here. Now, if this is your first time here, I make videos about the technology that's actually building the next thing. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, and I linked 1X down below, so, you know, you can go buy your own humanoid today, which is so wild to say out loud. I had to give it a shot. All right, I'll see you in the next one.